Happy Easter! And today in Ukraine, stronger than ever before, we realize the symbolic importance of resurrection. As you might have guessed, my name is Anna and I'm from Ukraine, and typically I inform you about important events during these difficult times for my country. But Ukraine is not just about war. It is a country of long history and beautiful traditions, and Easter is the time to introduce you to one of these. And that is the art of creation of Pysanka. I know that in many countries and cultures you have a similar tradition to decorate Easter eggs. But today I want to show you some specific Ukrainian things that we do to make this holiday more bright and more symbolic. We have come to one of my favorite places in Lutsk, and that is the Museum of Volyn Icon. It has unique exhibitions of icons and various religious artifacts, but most importantly, a fantastic crew of people that can make any excursion adapted to your needs, and they have so many interesting stories. And also they host an exhibition of Volyn pysankas taken from another good museum in Volyn region, and that is the Museum of Local Lore. Well, actually, you can guess that I'm a kind of a person that likes museums. So let me first introduce you to the tradition of Pysanka, and it is known on the territory of Ukraine for a really long period of time. Before Christian times, even in the Scythian tombs, something that resembles Pysanka was found. These were stone eggs that were supposed to protect people from evil spirits and to aid their trip to the ancestors who are already in the other world. But traditions of Christianity mixed harmoniously with the pagan traditions on the territory of Kiev Rus, and people started decorating eggs to symbolize the resurrection of Christ and the resurrection of nature, because Easter is always in spring in Ukraine. So, before I will show you some beautiful examples of decorated Easter eggs, let me explain you the very process itself and what are the basics for the creation of Pysanka. Maybe you will want to do something similar in your homes, and that is totally possible. Well, first of all, there are complicated ornaments and techniques, and simple, the one that you can easily repeat at home. The very basic level to decorate your Easter egg is to make Krashanka, which means particularly to paint the egg in the color that you like. The common for Ukraine shades are red, yellow, green, blue. Very often today people buy artificial paints, but they can easily be created using natural ingredients. And personally, I like natural paints because they connect us with our ancestors. In my family, we traditionally boil onion peels for a really long period of time, adding some vinegar, and they give you a very beautiful reddish-brown shade. It's so typical that in the Easter basket, perhaps this is the dominant color in Ukraine. Also, my region is associated with blueberries, and blueberries dried and boiled can give you a dark blue shade, which is also mystical and beautiful. Many of you ask me about these long trees, tall trees that we have along the roads in Ukraine. These are poplars, and the elements of a poplar tree is used to create a yellow shade. Saffron, karkade, green tea are also available in your countries and can be used as an egg paint. But it is better to boil an egg, to cover its peel with vinegar so that the paint can stick better. The second stage, a more complicated one, is to stick, for example, leaves of basil or other beautiful natural leaves to your egg, wrap it in something like a very thin fabric and put into paint. Then, after you extract the egg from the paint, you will have that natural herbal leaf ornament on the egg. Those who are brave, and I'm really proud that in Ukraine there are lots and lots of schools that teach children and adults to decorate Easter eggs, can try practicing with wax. There are specific instruments that resemble something like a pencil, where you can put some wax, warm it above the light of the candle, for example, and draw some ornaments on the egg. And the more colors you want, the more often you cover the egg with wax and put it in a paint. But it's kind of difficult to explain you how it all looks if I'm not going to demonstrate you the beautiful collection at this museum. So let us have a look. Yes, they can be of totally different sizes. This is an ostrich egg. It has a very strong shell and it's really easy to work with it. And this is an egg of a quail, and you have to be a little bit of a jeweler to decorate it with ornaments. Of course, these are exhibition kinds, and at home people traditionally decorate chicken eggs, but you can also meet goose and duck eggs. So my favorite part is actually watching, looking, observing these masterpieces created on the eggshell. This is a traditional for my region color, yellowish, brownish, a little bit of green, and an ornament that is repeated on two sides of the egg, known as rosetta, and it stands for a star, symbolizes a star. Look at these beautiful details. It takes really long time to train to be able to recreate them so evenly. You see that these two pysankas are a little bit larger. That's because these are not chicken eggs but goose eggs. And they are beautifully decorated, and they have two ornaments that are also typical for Ukraine. On this egg we can see tree of life, and on this egg we see birds that return back to Ukraine after long winter somewhere in the south. Let's take a closer look at two of these beautiful pysankas. Honestly, I think there is nothing more beautiful than traditional ornaments of your country. And here is the tree of life. Of course, this is a pagan symbol, but it feels really comfortable on Ukrainian pysanka, Christian pysanka right now. And these are birds. By the way, birds are very traditional for Ukrainian ornaments, used everywhere in the decorations of houses, on pysankas, in Ukrainian embroidery. And I like that the shades of paint are very, very natural. You know, at first I thought I will show you 1, 2 pysankas, explain you the basics, and that's it. But when I take these beautiful eggs, I look at them, each of them tells a story, and I want to show you all of that. I believe you already can identify and recognize this traditional for my region colors: green, brownish, yellow, light orange. And once again, people depicted things they see in their everyday life. For example, a ship is a very popular symbol on Easter eggs. Once again, tree of life and some natural ornaments that you can see in the garden, in the forest where you live. So if you'd ask me to concentrate on the typical shades and typical ornaments for Ukrainian pysanka, I would say this is red, green, yellow, brownish, dark blue, green, and maybe I'm repeating, and the ornaments either geometrical or the things that we see in our everyday life. These are animals, these are various plants, and including even agricultural remnant that is used, because on this egg we can see a rake. Look, they symbolize the start of serious work that comes together with spring to many agricultural countries. And Ukraine is known as a breadbasket of Europe, so let's protect it together. And beautiful plants also on the fields. The creation of pysankas is not only a family tradition or a historical custom, it is also a form of modern art. And many people who are professional painters, designers, professors at the universities of art take it to a totally different level and create stories on the eggs. And now I'm going to show you a couple of very professional exhibits that can be considered a sort of art. For example, this pysanka is created by a professor of art, and he demonstrates the return of birds above the fields, above the forests, back to Ukraine. Maybe one day all of our refugees, just as these birds, will return back to Ukraine. This is another of his works, and here he depicts fish and beautiful, fantastic birds. Fish is a symbol of Christianity, we know that, and we often use it to decorate the pysanka. Look how beautiful this naive, but at the same time extremely professional art. And this is a very complicated technique. For me, it looks like a very artistic process, and it is curving, if it's possible to say so, on the eggshell. First, the eggs are prepared, they spend some time in vinegar or in acid, and then the artist, a craftsman, works and cuts various ornaments, and they look very airy. By the way, if we are talking about professional pysankas that are going to be exhibits, they are always emptied, and here you can see small dots that are actually used to extract the inside of the egg so that it is not spoiled and can be preserved for years and centuries. This ostrich egg is a real masterpiece that was created by the artist Katerina Krymkowska, and she sent it to the museum. You can see Saint Nicholas, the portrait of Saint Nicholas on this pysanka. He is the patron of our city. And what I personally love about this exhibit is that it is made with totally natural paints, not chemical ones that are easier to work with, better preserved, but these are natural paints. And for example, here she plays seriously with this blueberry extracts that are once again characteristic for our region. But don't get nervous. I know many of you are kind and you say that Ukrainians are cool, but we are not that cool, and not in every Ukrainian family you will see masterpieces like that. For example, I'm really bad at various handmade things. I'm good at talking and bad at drawing and other stuff. And people simplify ornaments and techniques that they use at home. Now I will show you some beautiful eggs, but decorated in a closer to family tradition style. So this is plant ornament, and these are fir tree branches and willow branches. And here you can see stars, also traditional, and stars once again, and geometrical, even geometrical lines. If you'd ask me, can I draw something like that? The answer is, of course, no. By the way, we Orthodox people celebrate Easter 1 week later. Let me know, would you like to see how I will paint the eggs and do the stuff for Easter? If you want it, I can make a short blog, but 1 week later, after your Easter. We have come to this beautiful museum to show you the exhibition of Easter pysankas, but I can help and show you this beautiful exhibition of Ukrainian embroidered towels. Just a little bit, a sneak peek to get the atmosphere. So these are towels from the 20th century or the end of the 19th century, and they all demonstrate you traditional Ukrainian embroidery. Of course, you will always see birds, there are many of them, and flowers. And black and red colors are dominant, but there are also brighter towels, and personally they got my heart. Can you guess which of these towels is my favorite? Right, the one with a squirrel and birds and many bright colors. Many of these towels actually describe the scenes of spring, and spring is one of the favorite seasons in Ukraine because it is beginning of something good. Let this spring be the beginning of something good for all of us Ukrainians and all of you good people around the world. I am always very happy and very excited when I can tell you more about interesting things from our culture, from our history, and I dream the day when war is over, we win, and I'm able to introduce you to beautiful Ukrainian things come soon. May this Easter be the last Easter of war, and this year bring all of us victory. Let me know which ornaments, birds, flowers, plants, which colors you associate with Ukraine, or maybe share some of your Easter traditions. It's extremely interesting to learn more about you. And once again, I would like to thank the Museum of Volyn Icon and the Museum of Volyn Regional Local Lore for their support and for tremendous work that they do during war. Because life and work in museums is complicated when you have Russian orcs who constantly target your culture. When this awful war started, you wrote me a lot of supportive comments, and many of you spoke about pysankas that you have in your flats and houses after your visit to Ukraine. You bought them as souvenirs, and now they symbolize a piece of Ukraine, your support of Ukraine in your homes and in your hearts. So my dream that the next Easter will be in strong and peaceful Ukraine, and you will be able to come and buy more beautiful pysankas to keep them in your homes. Happy Easter!